What about Drake?
That's
that
not
cultural?
A thing. We're not making this word.
Is that cultural appropriation?
That's a real thing, son.
Yes.
Alright, so we talking about cultural appropriation today.
My culture.
Nobody appropriates your culture.
You don't see the dashiki? Eh?
Only American black people wear that shit.
culture.
Oh, that's not true. There's always like that
You
one
appropriated-
middle-aged white woman that's gonna put on a
You appropriated
dashiki.
our music.
So while
And
we're
come to
on
the
the
After Street
topic, what
Film
is
Festival.
cultural appropriation?
Every
Can we define it?
percussions-based music is African, nigga. Go ahead.
What is
What?
cultural appropriation? What is that?
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my god.
I'll
An
be honest
example
with you.
of? Can you give us an example of
What do you think?
cultural appropriation? I would say is probably someone taking. I mean, in this case, white people taking something.
Go ahead. No,
I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Taking something that isn't quote unquote theirs and trying to, I guess, imitate it, like wearing a dashiki or African head wrap or braids or dreadlocks or something of the sort.
Yo,
Right?
cultural
And making it,
appropriation,
like,
to me,
mainstream, right?
I never
And making
actually,
it kind of like a.
like looked up the definition, but in my head I always thought about it as, you know, being a culture vulture, you know, pimping somebody's culture for your own prosperity.
Let's look up the definition. I want to see the Webster definition
I
of cultural
sometimes
appropriation.
enjoy purchasing cookies from random people, Girl Scouts,
I don't think everybody gets that
Mrs.
reference, but I get it though. So. Alright, so what's the definition of cultural appropriation?
Cultural appropriation is the adoption or use of the elements of one culture by members of another culture. This view distinguishes outright theft of cultural artifacts or exotic stereotypes from being benign borrowing or appreciation.
That girl could read.
Congratulations. Alright, so now we know what it is. Can you translate that for the niggas out there? Tsunami?
Cultural appropriation is when some niggas not down for the cause is trying to take they shit. You know what I'm saying? When that nigga in Kansas is like, yo, that's cultural appropriation. That shit illegit too. That shit corny.
What if he's like yo, but he's about that life?
Word.
Then he'd
cultural
say yo the
appropriation?
correct way. Like, what the fuck? But nah, if you about that, look. Being white doesn't mean you're not a part of like hip hop culture,
right, exactly,
or whatever culture you're talking about. Nigga, if you white and you grew up in the Jacks with me, I mean, I didn't grow up in the Jacks, but you know what I'm saying, and you grew up in the Jacks with me, that's your culture too. You know what I'm saying? Of course you're gonna sound like that. But if you from fucking Quiet City, Nebraska, and you talking about, yeah, son, you know what I mean? I was chilling in front of the building, you know what I mean? And we was getting this guap, making handoffs and shit.
I can't take you serious right now.
Then you disrespecting me.
Why is it disrespectful?
Because it's,
I don't know.
There's a lot
Is it
behind
disrespectful?
it. Like, the culture, it's not all good. It's not all sunshine, glamour, and glitz. Like, it's blood, sweat, and tears behind that shit, bees. You mocking the shit niggas put their life into.
So that's what it is. It's mocking.
Yeah.
So a white girl,
You faking the
a
fuck.
white hippie girl wearing dreadlocks is mocking.
I feel like, now, I don't agree with domestic violence at all. Don't hit women. But if you had to, you would be an okay person to slap the fire out of.
Talk about.
If she had dreadlocks,
So,
or because she
I don't
raps.
care about
so
the
hold
dreads,
up.
it's 'cause
Why? So a chick can't, if a chick is not black, it's inappropriate, because I would assume that cultural appropriation is something inappropriate to the culture that's being appropriated. Yeah, I said that. But anyway, is it disrespectful for somebody to, like, that's not in the culture, like, wear their hair a certain way? Like, is that a problem?
Nah. No. I don't think wearing your hair a certain way is the problem, because I don't think just because you wear your hair a certain way, you're pretending to be a part of another culture. Or
so where's that line between not pretending and pretending? I guess that's the question, right?
I mean,
or where's the line between pretending and mocking?
It's really in what you see with music. It's easier because you can analyze the words, and you can have I don't know if she's white. She looks white. I know she's Canadian. Have like a white Canadian rap chick like Eternia or whatever. She raps, and it's not appropriation to me because I'm hearing her. You know what I'm saying? But when you hear someone like Iggy, it sounds like a fucking act.
So
like,
it is.
I think this is what I'm supposed to do, so I'm going to do it.
So, Tom, let me ask you a question then. So there's black people in the industry, right? Mm-hmm. That don't come from the specific background that they're portraying when they're doing their artistry. Mm-hmm. And that is pretty much an act.
Yeah.
So do you feel the same sort of kind of ill emotion towards them as you do with Iggy?
I fucking hate Drake.
You know, I was actually gonna ask you about Drake because you see Drake, and you
Drake.
said no, but
my bad.
While you were talking, I actually thought about Drake. I really just thought about Drake because what about a black person?
Well.
Yeah, like what about a black person who was
Jewish?
Okay, but you know, one drop rule.
First of all, I'm only about
you know how
40% comfortable when he say nigga, because he do got black in him. But if I recall, he was raised by his Jewish mother and didn't
Most
fuck
definitely.
with his pops.
Well, until later on. Yeah.
Until after he was a rapper.
After he got famous from the show and all that. Yeah.
A few niggas in. I don't know, man. I don't know. And that's part of it, man. Like if I'm sitting here and and let's say I'm from the bottom, or let's say I'm near the bottom.
Yeah.
And I gotta be in my struggle, eating my little quarter bag of chips and quarter water and have no more money. You know what I'm saying? And I'm listening to this motherfucker talking about when he was at the bottom, like, yeah.
You just showed your age.
For the bottom niggas.
Chips ain't a quarter no more, but go ahead.
Like, yeah, niggas, bet. This is a song about niggas from the bottom. And I hear about this nigga talking about his car was whack. I don't know how I feel about that, man. What struggle?
What do you think, True? Like, you brought it up. You brought Drake up. So, obviously, it's something in your mind.
I mean, the reason why I thought about Drake was because the guy that is on camera during an interview and the guy that he is when he is rapping and behind a camera is different. But it's just like Beyonce, right? She says this when she gets on, what's her alias's name? Sasha Fierce. When she gets on stage, she becomes someone else. Because here you have Beyonce. Have you ever heard her speak?
I've heard her speak. Yeah.
She's very timid, very shy, very soft spoken. But when she gets on stage, it's different. So it's like I thought about that when you said it. But I was more posed, like, I kind of wanted to, like, I wanted to understand.
I'll give you a better example. If anybody remembers, I mean, he ain't popular no more, but my nigga Little John. They gonna be like, yeah, okay. And then he talking to an interview. Like,
who this
listen,
it is.
It's Mike Jones.
But they were similar. They just yelled something and we liked them for
I mean, I think Dave Chappelle made a skit about that shit, right?
Yeah.
Where he was, like, ignorant as hell on the mic, and then you get in the interview, and he's like distinguished as fuck.
Yeah, and not like T.I. distinguished, like actually distinguished.
Like that was a shot.
T.I. distinguished.
I heard that nigga shoot people. So
plethora of reasoning.
It's like I think applies too.
So, are you offended by them just as much as you offended by Iggy?
Are you asking me or are you asking him?
Both of you guys.
I never said that I was offended.
I'm not offended.
It was more so like I was just wondering if that's the same.
Anyone stylistically. The ad-libs, that was just his style when it came to his music.
Nah, but they're acting as if they're like of a particular culture when it seems like they're not. Though.
But at the same time, it's like
can go to fucking school and have a degree and still be a part of a culture. I went to school. I have a degree. I can speak regular. Doesn't mean the culture I came up in isn't quote unquote ignorant. You know what I'm saying? I can switch if I want to speak the colloquial way. I can do it.
So
if I want to speak the accepted,
so just
proper
to go
way,
back,
I can do it.
Historically, Australia culture is a little bit gutter too. So maybe Iggy is also brought up in a culture that represents some of those same things, but also she also went to school and can speak proper English and all that good
stuff. I mean, it's not like she's
like
rapping about gangbanging when she's rapping. She's just like, no, but you know when I would think that what would cross a line of really offensive, for instance, like a woman who may be like Muslim, right?
Okay.
And she wears a hijab, she covers her eyes or something like that. It's more religious, but it's also cultural as well. It's more cultural as well. Mm-hmm. For somebody to wear something like that, I find that a little bit more offensive, because now it's just like it doesn't seem right to me. Like if you were to just like walk around and just have it on, just because it represents something else.
So let's take it there. You know, there was a point in time where if you wore a cross, it meant something. Like that meant that you were a part of Christian faith. That was something culturally to that religion, and it became appropriated. And now anybody walking down the street, religious or not, could be wearing a chain with a cross on it. Is that offensive? You think that's offensive to the Christian faith?
I think part of it is, especially with like hip hop, that's like the hip hop thing to do now. Black culture in general, most of them grew up Christian.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So
the church is a big part of black culture.
So a lot of black gangsters think they're Christian. So that's why
I kill a nigga and then I pray.
You know what I'm saying? That's why the Psalms is on the arms of my niggas. You know what I'm saying? So in that sense, they weren't trying to appropriate it. They grew up Christian.
But I mean, no one's to judge somebody's relationship with God.
No, but I mean, there are people out there.
I think now people are doing
they will tell you, no, I'm not religious. I don't believe. I don't claim Christianity, anything like that. And they're at the time wearing a cross.
I think that now was born out of it. Was born out of, you know, niggas was wearing crosses back then, and now niggas are. That's just what you do.
Nah. But I'm not asking the origin. My question is that a problem? Like, is it offensive? Because that's appropriation at probably the highest level. I mean, it's spawned across so many different genders, cultural groups. I mean,
yes, it's appropriation.
Walk down the block right now, you can see like 10 crosses.
I don't think it's being appropriated from Christianity. I think for them, they were appropriating it from past hip hop or past image of gangsters, because previously gangsters were religious.
I really don't
know
how to respond.
But I mean, in the using the Christian example, Christianity has a different, I guess, worldview than maybe like a Muslim worldview. So like appropriating, quote unquote, like a cross. The religion is kind of just in itself, just kind of like everybody has their own relationship with God. It's not really your place to judge, type of thing. Whereas like another religion, maybe like a Muslim religion, is more. I mean, it has a lot to do with how you present yourself in modesty, and not to say that the relationship part aspect is not there, but that the cross represents all people in a way, but like a hijab is just very exclusive to a certain message, and it may be offensive. I don't know. I think somebody wearing a hijab just as like a normal thing, it feels wrong to me. Do you agree?
I don't know, because if I seen like a Jewish dude walk down the street with the joint on his head, and I was like, yo, that look popping, and then the next day I got one, and I put one on.
I don't know. I don't think that's right.
Like, I feel like
they're gonna pop on you, bro.
I know they will.
I feel like that feels wrong to me. That feels more wrong to me than a white girl braiding her hair. You know what I'm saying?
I
mean, there's history behind braids and dreads.
I feel like though, if you are Muslim, if people are Muslim or not, you're going to want women to wear a hijab. If you go to a Muslim country,
it offensive.
If you go to a Muslim country, they're going to require you to wear one.
That's true. But if you're wearing it in America and just walking around,
they'd be like,
it
"Good,
looks like a
this
Halloween
woman covered
costume.
her head."
It looks like a Halloween costume. It's like you being a nun for Halloween, a pregnant nun for Halloween. Like you're mocking a group of people.
What if you just felt like
I'm gonna suggest that to somebody.
Like, what
you
if
never
you just
seen that before?
Pregnant nun?
You never seen that?
Why the fuck would I see a pregnant nun?
No, I mean like as a Halloween costume. People do that all the time.
I ain't never seen a pregnant nun. I've seen nuns.
No, but I'm saying
never
like
seen
the
a pregnant
costume.
nun.
But it's a mock. It's a mockery. You know what I mean? Like
shit.
having somebody like dress up as a pregnant nun.
A pregnant nun.
Because you're like trying to.
You ever just mad you ain't think of something
that's
first?
disrespectful as fuck.
God damn.
Oh my god, I'm so surprised it's the first time you're hearing that.
Yo, that's wild.
Yo, that's like, hey, if you're a nun, ain't you like married to Jesus,
Yeah,
God,
you
or whatever?
You can't have sex.
Yeah.
So it's a mockery.
Which is unfortunate.
But
It's
what
a mockery.
if? What if you got pregnant?
Some people
That's
are asexual.
And then you
some people don't
became
need
a
to have
nun.
sex.
You said some people are asexual?
That's another conversation. We can't do that. We can. People
Okay,
are asexual.
no.
Yeah,
Alright.
yeah.
That's
No,
actually-
some people can't get bitches.
No, but
Alright,
some
let's
people
move
are
on.
asexual. Some people don't have that desire to have sex. Some people are not run by
Understood.
their penis.
So like, let's just say like
People
as
don't
a
need to
young
have
woman or something. All right. Now I'll just say like as a dude, I can come from the dude perspective. So on my way here, I was driving, right, and there's like a Jewish community, right, and they all, even though it's like 60 degrees outside, they all had like this fur hat, right, like boom, and it goes around the whole side, right.
Right.
What if I was like, yo, that hat is popping, I'm copping one tomorrow, I'm putting the fur hat on, boom, and I walk around like that.
It seems like it's like somewhat of a mockery. In fact, I actually had a really, really embarrassing situation where this guy is country as. My sister was dating this guy who was country as hell, and he was not. He doesn't know.
All right. Your sister was dating.
He's not
Bubba
from New
Sparks.
York. He's not from New York,
No
so
one
he
knows who
hasn't
that
really
is.
seen like an acidic Jew or
Okay.
he hasn't seen that. So we're like looking for apartments, and he sees a guy with the curlies. I don't even know if that's what you call it.
I don't think
he
so,
was
but
like,
it's okay.
he thought it would be funny to come up to the guy and be like, "Yo, where you get that though? Like, can I get that? Like, where can I find those curls?" Like, he thought it was funny, and we were so embarrassed. Like, this guy, like, what are you doing?
Thank God it wasn't on a Saturday.
I was like, "What are you doing? This is horrible." You know, it's like, and if he would have came to the block on a Saturday with the little curlies, I don't know. They might have lost their religion that day and beat his ass.
And like, Lord, forgive me for putting in this work on Saturday.
I don't, but
But it's like, I think what I'm saying is cultural appropriation, like where the line is like borderline offensive and not. I think where the line draws is like what that thing represents to the culture. So like a religious thing like a hijab. What I'm saying is it depends on what it represents. I mean, there's a history behind braids and dreads, and I'm not too familiar with it.
But I think the group that's the group that's quote unquote appropriate in the culture. How much like should they be invested into? Because like, you know, it's a perspective thing, right? The group that it's being appropriated from is always gonna feel like, oh, that's disrespect. Oh, they shouldn't be doing that, whatever, right? But as the outsider thinking that this is hot or I should do it or whatever, how much responsibility is on me to actually care about where this came from or not? Why can't I just see a hat or see some article of clothing or some ritual that somebody does and be like, yo, that's popping, I want to do it.
I'm okay
in theory,
with that.
that's permissible. In theory.
I'm okay with
But it's
accessories. It's like, okay, you're not faking the funk, really. You just like the accessories. But if you go full Rachel, then that's disrespectful.
That's not cultural appropriation.
I think
nigga, she's
in America,
she's trying to be
another culture. Like, this ain't you.
She's trying to be a whole new person, my nigga. That's like,
she likes black culture so much.
that's level 100 of cultural appropriation. We're talking about like mid-level to lower, like, you know, like a girl getting braids that got the straightest hair ever. Appropriation.
Okay.
You also like
so you
Super Saiyan appropriation shit.
I'll tone it down. So like, I do think the thing is called a payat, whatever the fuck.
What's
the curlies?
Oh, that's what they call.
That is disrespectful to me because that is something that is. It's like a polarizing aspect of their culture.
right?
It's not something you can just. It's not a fashion statement. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
It's just polarizing to their culture. The same is if you're really white with dreads, like, first of all, your hair doesn't actually dread. We know this. You've done something to it. Secondly, that is a polarizing aspect of a Rasta culture or whatever it is.
Right.
I think things like that.
Yeah, but how many black people that's not Rastas got dreads? Like, my mom got dreads. Like, is she appropriating that shit? Like, she was like, this is a better way to maintain my hair that still looks good.
No,
she rocked with
it. Rasta, religion or whatever culture, it's a byproduct of the black culture. So therefore, she is a part of it.
My nigga, what? Bro, that is a specific, and I might say a very specific culture.
Yeah, it's very specific. But, I mean, look, you have rectangles and you have squares. A square is a very specific kind of rectangle.
Nigga, what is you
But it's still a fucking rectangle. Just because you're in a specific portion of black culture doesn't mean you're still not black culture.
So what about, like, a white Rasta? Can he wear the dreads?
Yeah.
Yeah, like his point was that if you're actually in the culture, it's different than you just imitating it. But then, what about, is there a such thing as reverse appropriation, like a black girl wearing blonde hair?
What you mean, a black girl wearing the straightest hair ever? Period. Would have to be reverse appropriation, right?
Is
before
that like
she even colors it.
Should they be offended? I'm just playing devil's advocate. I'm not endorsing
lace front extensions.
I'm not
whatever you want.
Any of that.
One of my least favorite black historical figures is Madam C.J. Walker. I want to preference that.
Least favorite.
She was like the first millionaire.
I know, right? She made millions of making black people look more like white people.
Yes, that is true.
Congrats.
That is true.
Yay. She's the first official.
Bro, I'm not about to let you hate on Madam C.J. Walker.
Still down for the.
It ain't even gonna happen, son.
I'm sure objective.
Down.
I mean, maybe subconsciously her objective was.
If it wasn't for Madam C.J. Walker,
fitting it into
Little Kim would still be black.
Oh my god. I mean, maybe subconsciously her objective may have alluded to the fact that she was trying to, I guess, acclimate to a certain culture, but it could have just been kinky hair is harder to deal with. Bro, I'm gonna try. I feel so bad.
Talk about, bro.
Rest in peace.
She saw an opportunity in the marketplace and capitalized on that opportunity. Somebody was gonna help all the people that wanted straight hair get straight hair. Why not let it be Madam C.J. Walker and get this money up, and then use that money to help?
So it's okay, right? If niggas gonna sell out, just be the first one to do it. You know what I'm saying? She didn't even make up an excuse.
Nigga, don't you love rap music? Like, that's pretty much what it is.
Sell it out.
They selling out hard bodies, huh?
Nah, they news reporters. That's all.
Whatever.
They ain't sell out.
Cop out.
I don't even know if like
they report.
I'm not even sure.
They report news on the track and they sell you Hennessy like right after.
And they still drink it themselves, so they ain't lying. But
so you fucking poison and shit.
But like you can't tell me you not mad at Little Kim for doing everything she can.
Absolutely. But I'm not mad at
Madam C.J. Walker ain't sell no whitening cream and shit for
Madam
your skin.
C.J. Walker was the first step. It's a slippery slope, baby. Yeah, it's a slippery slope. It started with her and just kept going.
I mean, people of that time, they were pressing, people of that time, they were figuring out ways to straighten their hair because there was a need in the market based on the fact that we were basically brainwashed into thinking that European features were the standard.
So
she's a byproduct of group thinking. She wasn't the originator of that thought.
What you wanted, Madam C.J. Walker to sell some cream that make your hair more curly and kinky?
No, what I'm saying is like
her as fuck and not be in history.
Oh, she could have started Shea Moisture.
But she probably had Shea Moisture, but it probably wasn't called Shea Moisture.
Doesn't make your hair. It makes your hair healthier, whatever it is currently.
Like it has.
It doesn't
like
purposely make
you have your Shea butters.
I could get behind that. I don't know if I could get behind making money off of making niggas look like honkies.
But I mean you have little sisters, right?
Caucasians.
You have little sisters, right? Mm-hmm. You've seen them when they were younger getting their hair combed. Like, it's like a rite of passage. They sit in their hair, crying, clenching their eyes, getting their hair combed and stuff.
I told my mom then the same thing I'm saying now.
No, but what I'm saying is Madam C.J. Walker saw an opportunity to make a product to help black women have more manageable hair. Maybe subconsciously, probably subconsciously. It was about acclimating to a certain stereotype or a certain definition of beauty, but I don't think that was her objective. Was like, you know what, I'm gonna make my black people look more white.
You're right.
You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't her objective.
Right. Same way rappers' objective ain't to, you know, just make the hood sick by drinking over their problems, you know, but they all got alcohol and shit like that. Like, just because it's an opportunity don't mean it's an opportunity you should take. I'm not gonna be happy that you took an opportunity that somebody else might have still took just because, well, at least I made money off it if it's a detriment to my community.
I understand, but there was that forward thinking is borrowed to you because of the people who paved the way for you to be able to think that.
You're looking at it from one perspective, right?
For other people,
it was both a detriment in one way, but also help people another way, right? Because
people or herself.
No, I'm saying the people that use her product, right?
She had
if you straighten in those days, right? If you straighten your hair, right? It was like a assimilation to the culture, right? So it could have helped you gain more opportunity as just an individual, but it also took you away from what's naturally you. So there's two sides of the coin.
And then all of a sudden, natural hair became unprofessional.
Yes. You're right in terms of, for the individual, it did give them more opportunity, but what it did was it rewarded those who were willing to make themselves more white.
Right. I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. I'm just saying I don't think her objective was that.
I don't think it gave the group more opportunities. I mean, you had to have waiters. It just helped choose who they were going to pick to be the waiters.
I mean, damn it. Even today, there is a reason why there are literally rule books in schools that say that women cannot have afros or braids in school. Like, they have to wear their hair a certain way. Like, people actually, like, literally get sent home because their hair is in a fro because it's a distraction. You know, it's a byproduct of a lot of things and a lot of choices that were made over time. But we were brainwashed into thinking that a certain standard was the sub quo. Like, it was just what we should be and what we should aspire to be. And that's why Little Kim looks like Little Kim. But I'm not mad at her. I feel bad for her.
But you're not going to make a connection to CJ Walker and Little Kim, though.
You're not. That's disrespectful as hell.
I get it.
So Badger CJ Walker responsible for what's the
how she's responsible for it?
No. Is she also responsible for my man in the reggae singer?
Or wash up with the kicks up?
What about Drake?
That's not cultural. We're not making this word. Is
that cultural appropriation?
That's a real thing, son.
Yes.
Drake is real.
Drake making bullshit reggae pop songs.
Nah, that's shit's appropriation. Control is real. That.
You know why?
So is that offensive?
You know why I didn't like?
Are you offended for your fellow?
Because it could have been so
Jamaican
much better.
people.
Like, it wasn't a bad song, but it could have been so much better if, like, you know, there was like a legit accent or something like that. You know, better words, more of a little rhythm, some ad libs with excitement. If it was more authentic, it would have been better.
Were you mad at Rihanna for not having a bra on in the video? Did you think that was disrespectful?
I didn't know Rihanna didn't have a bra on in the video.
What you talking about?
I'm just joking.
Why are you looking so hard?
I love Rihanna.
Come on, fam.
I think she's.
I'm fucking offended that you tried to put Madam CJ Walker on this path to overall black movement to whiteness.
What about Jamaican people?
This is a fucking problem.
She made
I can't get off of this topic right now.
She made the first product that can help black people look more like white people.
Were people bleaching their skin before Madam CJ Walker? I don't think that was the first product. Was that like a thing?
No, I don't think that came out yet.
It was possibly a thing. I don't think it was effective. I don't think it had any effective products, but I'm pretty sure during that point in time, people were trying to escape.
But Master, what if I could look more like you? Can I go inside the house next time? Please, it's just because of the sun. I swear, when I go back to my regular complexion. Come on, man.
I was born light skinned.
I
hate when people say that shit. When I was a baby, I was so light skinned.
I'm telling you,
the sun.
Because I have to be outside with my toilet in the sunshine.
I was bad light when I was young.
Oh my God, everybody's light when they're baby.
You be in the sun.
Oh my god.
You can talk shit.
The byproduct. It is a slippery slope. You are right.
Listen, look,
It is a slippery slope.
fam. I do think that it's a little bit of a negative thing to kind of lose yourself in the process of trying to attain and gain things, right?
Mm-hmm.
But at the
Most
same time, when
definitely
you
is.
live in a society that's like mostly, a certain thing, right? I think it's only natural for the smaller group to want to adopt some of those things that larger group is doing. You can look across the world and see that happen, except for one continent. That's pretty crazy.
I don't
But
see too many Asians trying to be like white people, bro.
what?
That's a
The
lie.
fucking parts and all that shit.
That is a lie.
Oh,
Bro.
They dye their hair blonde.
Oh, that's
Okay.
because you
And-
work in
and wear
government. You
blue
don't see a lot of
contacts
the
like the rest
professional
of us.
Asians.
my bad. Nah, I was thinking about like the
They assimilate the best,
zero
in my
generation
opinion.
Asians. It's their kids.
Out of
Their kids- their
everybody.
kids do that.
K-pop.
Their kids
I
do
mean,
that.
that's
Their kids do
American
that.
appropriation.
You got it.
Everybody
you
wants
got
to be
it,
like
you got
America.
It, you got it. They
They assimilate very
mature
well.
and assimilate quickly.
Word.
You're right.
And they seeing the benefits from that
They
shit.
adapt in hip hop culture like the best.
Jew-
Jews are kind of slow to assimilate.
Sorry, I don't know why I thought that was funny.
Yeah,
But you know,
I'd say I'd
Jews
say
are exactly.
so.
They don't have to because they own everything.
They make moves though. Like
That's
they make incredible
I can
moves.
respect. I respect
Yeah,
Jewish people
They
and
do
how they.
incredible moves, son.
But
Jewish
their,
people, they
their
got their own
population is
police
too
departments.
crazy.
They
And
got
you know
their
what?
own hospitals.
You should use that, right? You
as a
should use
template.
their success
You
and
know-
appropriate everything they do.
And do you
so
know
that you
how
can get
they're
the same
that
success?
successful? They support each other's businesses.
Thank you. That's real shit. That is real shit.
Bro. What are you talking about, fam? They do support each other's businesses.
They support each other. That's why they grow.
But
they
they-
stick together. Those freaking.
But if you don't
police
think, they
departments.
also support in other ways, right? So like when you're in a community, you have to actually like give to the community. Like you actually have to pay like a tax within the community,
Yeah.
right? So it's not just like, oh, we support the businesses. They create their own communities with the money that they bring in. I'm not against that. That's real. You gotta. That's something important.
Can you imagine
Yeah.
if black people did that?
And every Jewish person can go back to Israel to live
Yeah.
as long as you can prove you're Jewish.
We can't go.
They
back.
get a free trip.
I can't go back. I mean, like,
You're not Jewish.
no. To Africa, nigga. Like, what you talking about?
I mean, you could try to apply for citizenship somewhere.
They not going.
They're citizens. If you've never stepped there a day in your life, as long as you can prove that you're Jewish, you're a citizen in Israel.
All right, well, let's go back. I think that you should appropriate everything that they do so that they can duplicate their success.
So
I mean, I really
gonna
admire
get one of
Including the
those-
curly cues, my nigga. Including.
the
I'm going to be out here,
cues.
my waves down to the curls, my nigga. Like, it's going to be crazy out this bitch.
I don't know about that part, but definitely the
Like-
supporting of one another and taking that hit because I didn't even
I'm
know
going to
about
wear a
that
full
tax.
suit and a
that
coat
tax.
and a scarf in 90-degree weather.
I don't think that's going
No,
work
you-
because they sometimes
know
they be,
damn
you
well,
smell
Tom.
funky as hell.
You are not gonna let nobody tax you to be in the community. You're gonna be like, wait. I need to pay a tax to be here. I'm moving back to East New York. Like,
Shit, I would never. Nothing in this world can make me move back to East. I love you, baby, but I ain't coming back. Ain't no way in hell. Look, but I would pay if it was a good community. I'd pay a tax. You know what I mean? It just got to be up to par. You know?
But what if they
you
just
one of them
starting
gated
out? What
community-ass niggas.
what if black people got together
Yeah.
and started the same initiative and tried to do stuff like have their own businesses and their own hospitals and their own this and their own that? Would you support it
Why not?
in the beginning?
I feel like
I mean, what the
But you-
beginning
you
look
said-
like, fam? Like,
But that's I feel like
is
you.
there
I
like
feel
a condo
I feel like
that's
you might be the
available
type.
for me to move into?
Yeah, I feel like
There
you
is?
might be the type to get in when it's good.
Nah, I mean, like, first
I
of
don't think
all,
you can
I'm an
support it
investor
when
type
it's
dude, so you
struggling.
got to get in the ground level. But like, at least is there like appropriate housing, and there's already a couple shops where I could like get some stuff.
we have
Yeah,
a lot
you
of
wanted
housing.
to get to a certain point.
No, like quality housing, like. And we don't have a lot of housing.
Jewish people actually use
The
the, most
state has a lot of
welfare
housing in which we resided.
in New York.
Yeah,
A lot of them are actually on welfare.
It's fine
Right.
though. As long as
as
your grandma living there and pass it down
They
to you,
be taking
good.
advantage of the system though, man.
They take great advantage of the
I
system.
seen that article.
Food stamps,
Some dude he was making
welfare.
a mill and still living in public housing.
Yeah, because all that stuff's under the table.
That's just crazy. How you make a bill and make the decision to live in the projects? Like, who does that?
But their projects
someone
are
that
nice.
wants to keep making money.
You could get a condo around here for like $3 a month.
Yeah,
Chilling.
what 300?
No,
Exactly.
3,000 ain't that much.
So much more than what you paying in the projects.
Listen, the point is, man, if you see a culture doing well,
Get that good. heat,
why
too.
would you not take on some of the qualities or like do some of the things that they doing?
It's fine. It's okay to take qualities, attributes, certain ideas, but there's a difference between, all right, I'm gonna support this business. I'm gonna try to, implement these things they implemented, and hijacking the culture. Like, there's a big ass fucking difference.
Please explain the difference.
The difference is
curlicues.
ain't nobody's fucking way of speaking or nobody's way of dressing or whatever it may be, or wearing your hair or putting on a mini hat. Like, none of that shit is part of why they're successful.
I don't know that, because when I go to work, right, I don't speak the same way that I speak when I'm with my friends and stuff, and I'm definitely speaking in a way that is more like assimilation of a particular culture, right? There's a particular culture in the workplace that comes probably from a specific group of people, probably more European, and that is how I address people in the workplace. So I'm taking on their culture.
White people.
Go ahead.
I'm sure white people go to a workplace and they don't talk the same that they do with their friends as well.
I'm sure there's some people, like that.
It's not
I mean,
appropriating
it's not like
the culture. It's speaking the required language in the workplace. It's the workplace standard. It's not, I'm speaking like this to be a part of this culture, this ethnic culture, whatever.
there's like a workplace culture.
Yeah, it's like a workplace culture, but it derives from somewhere, right? Like it just doesn't.
It derives from the language of the land, which is
And what we
English, and
deem
has
a
a set of rules.
Yeah, but even the way that, all right, so when you're not at work, you're still speaking English, right? But you're speaking in a different way.
Speaking the colloquial tongue. I mean, every language has a colloquial way of speaking and a
in
proper
Haiti,
way
you
of
have
speaking.
French versus Creole, but it's always the.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, I give you that as far as the language is concerned. But how you carry yourself, like there's certain things that are like done, right?
There are certain
that
things
you
that are cultural, yeah.
that you take from someone else because you see that those things will bring you some of the things that you're looking for, right? Mm-hmm. It'll bring you some of the success, some of the assets, whatever it is. It'll bring you that if you act this particular way. Is that? Well, it's already appropriated. Like, it's already the norm.
Yeah.
But is that a problem if you go do that?
I don't think so.
All right. So then why is the reverse a problem, I guess, is my question.
What?
Well, the reverse would be appropriation.
Oh. Why is profiting off of someone else's culture a problem?
Everybody doesn't profit, though.
Nah, but a lot of people try to. And I think the problem is, one, most of the time, they're fucking it up. Because you don't really know the culture. And it's certain things that you see and you interpret through your own lens that you don't really understand. And you're adopting it. And you don't understand what it means and what you're doing.
That's what it goes back to. It comes back to the roots of what these things mean, that deem it either offensive or not. Like, where does it come from?
I guarantee you there's some white boys that got, yo, that airdrop was hot, and tattooing airdrops on their eyes, and don't know what the fuck that shit stand for.
Oh, you talking about the tears?
Yeah.
I mean, they could get themselves in trouble, but if it look hot and they want to do it, like, what's the problem?
Like,
I see the only problem is
they don't understand what they're getting themselves into. Like, they don't know what you're doing. And when you're just blindly doing some shit that has meaning behind it, and you don't know what the fuck you're doing, it gets disrespectful.
It's not your meaning, though, right? Like, you're taking it and giving it a different meaning. Because now you're taking it as an aesthetic, right? Like, something like the tattoo, right?
Yeah.
Now it just has aesthetic meaning to you, which then takes on that meaning to your culture. Because if somebody else, your culture sees like, oh, that's really cool aesthetically, but the meaning has changed now, like for your culture versus the culture it was taken from.
Yeah.
So I don't actually see that as a problem, except for the fact that in the teardrop example, he could get killed.
Yeah. And you might not know that. I mean, if you're a kid that grew up in Uzbekistan and just watch videos, you might one day, come out to New York chilling with your flag in your pocket, like doing weird shit with your fingers because you've seen it before. And that's why you got to understand what you're doing.
Exactly. You got to ask more questions.
Because, like, what I'm going to do? I'm going to get mad that you got? So, it was your fault.
So appropriation has now become a safety issue.
Nah, the point is, know what you're doing represents. If you're going to take something, don't take something meaningful from somebody else.
And make it.
And just try to,
mainstream.
Make it yours when you don't fully understand what you're doing.
Exactly. I agree.
So that's y'all perspective on that. Don't take something that's meaningful to somebody else and just do it without understanding the meaning behind it.
Yeah, I think we don't have the luxury of being in a country where it's not diverse. So in a country where we're as diverse as we are, you have to be culturally sensitive.
Yeah. And that's why you don't have that problem, and that's why it's not an appropriation when it's like a white person that grows up in the hood. They understand the culture because that's basically their culture, and they're not misusing it or misrepresenting it. It's legit.
I don't know. I feel like I can definitely gather y'all points, but at the same time, I feel like if I see something that I'm attracted to or something that I like, I don't feel like I have to go to the extent of learning everything about it in order to do it. Like, I feel like I should have the freedom to see something that I like, and then if I like it, move forward with it, Now, if somebody comes and expresses like there's some disrespect there, I mean, I can understand how they feel disrespected, but at the same time, I will express to them like what I feel about it, like this is why I like it, explain to them why I'm doing it, and then hopefully they can rock with that. And if they can't, then that's not really, I'm a person. I'm free to do what I like.
Regardless, like, people are going to do what they want. Just because somebody tells them that they got a problem with their hair.
You're free to appropriate.
But I mean, in theory, it would be great if we could just, copy whatever and not really think about it. But that's not the world we live in. There's some cultural sensitivities that we have to be mindful of because we're not the only group.
# free to appropriate. So
I do not endorse that hashtag.
So as a group, like I guess as blacks, right? Black people, whatever, right? Is it important for us to kind of give it attention? Like, is appropriation something that we should be mad about, something that we should concern ourselves with? Should we be explaining to people the reasons of why they're doing something, and should they actually learn about it? Or should we just be like, yo, it's whatever they doing, and we keep it moving? To
be honest, it depends on what it is, what it represents to me. I'm not going to speak on something that doesn't affect me. I'm not going to speak on something that, and not to say that somebody wearing a hijab, I might speak on that. Because I'm not Muslim, but I find that offensive, and it doesn't affect me. You know what I'm saying? But if I find an opportunity to educate somebody, I will take that opportunity, but I'm not going to do it every time. It's not my job to educate everybody about what is what and where it comes from. But in the same token, as a person myself, I would like to be sensitive to other people's cultures and religious views. And I would like to assume that other people would do the same. Some people just don't give a fuck. And that's cool too. I'm going to keep doing my own thing.
Well, you think?
Fuck it. I don't care about trying to teach niggas about none of that stuff, man. Look, they going to do what they going to do. If you don't fuck with it, don't support it. Keep it moving.
What about you?
I agree with Tsunami's comment.
All right.
Or people gonna do what they're gonna do. They're gonna, see something they like. They're gonna want to do it. I think also it kind of, in a certain way, it gives you a little bit more cred, because if they do it and make it the popular thing, then now what you do becomes the norm, and you're able to do it more. I don't know if that's a positive or a negative thing, but the fact remains that it becomes more the norm. So maybe you could use that in a positive way. That's what I would do personally. Like, I try to use it to gain more or whatever, but that's just me, I'm crazy.